It was a sunny Saturday morning, and the Johnson household was bustling with activity. The sound of the vacuum cleaner hummed through the hallways, mixing with the distant laughter of children playing outside. In the middle of the chaos, Emily Johnson, a high school sophomore, was busy cleaning her room. She had been putting off the task for weeks, but today she was determined to make her room spotless. Emily was a creative soul, always scribbling in her diary, painting, or taking photographs. Her room was a reflection of her personality, with its walls adorned with colorful posters, fairy lights, and an assortment of knickknacks she had collected over the years. However, beneath the surface, her room was a mess of papers, clothes, and various items strewn about. As Emily diligently cleaned, her father, David Johnson, a kind and thoughtful man in his late 40s, was busy tidying up the rest of the house. David was the kind of father who always lent a helping hand and took an interest in his children's lives. He was a pillar of strength for his family, and his calm demeanor and wise words were always a source of comfort. David had just finished vacuuming the living room when he decided to check on Emily. He knocked on her door and peeked inside, smiling at the sight of her hard at work. "Hey, Em, need any help?" Emily looked up from her pile of clothes and grinned. "Sure, Dad. Can you help me sort through these books?" David stepped into the room and began helping Emily organize her bookshelf. As they worked, they chatted about school, friends, and upcoming plans for the summer. Emily loved these moments with her dad. He always knew how to make her feel understood and supported. While rearranging some books, David accidentally knocked over a stack of papers that were sitting on Emily's desk. As the papers scattered across the floor, Emily rushed over to pick them up. Among the papers, David noticed a small, leather-bound book that had fallen open. Curious, he reached down and picked it up. "What's this?" he asked, glancing at the pages filled with Emily's neat handwriting. Emily's heart skipped a beat. She recognized the book immediately. It was her personal diary. She felt a mix of panic and embarrassment wash over her as she quickly took it from her father's hands. "Oh, that's just my diary, Dad," she said, her voice tinged with nervousness. "It's private." David's expression softened and he handed the diary back to her. "I understand, sweetheart. Everyone needs their private space. I didn't mean to intrude." Emily sighed with relief, clutching the diary to her chest. "Thanks, Dad." David gave her a reassuring smile. "If you ever want to talk about anything, you know I'm here for you, right?" Emily nodded, feeling a sense of comfort in his words. "I know, Dad. Thanks." With that, they continued cleaning the room, and the incident with the diary was soon forgotten, at least for the moment. However, that evening, as David sat in his study reflecting on the day, he couldn't shake the feeling that there was something more to Emily's nervousness about the diary. He wondered if she was going through something that she wasn't ready to talk about. The next morning, Emily left for a weekend trip with her friends, and the house was unusually quiet. David decided to take the opportunity to do some deep cleaning around the house. As he dusted and organized, his thoughts kept drifting back to Emily and her diary. Later that afternoon, while cleaning Emily's room, David accidentally stumbled upon the diary again. It was tucked away under her mattress, hidden but not completely out of sight. He hesitated for a moment, knowing that reading it would be an invasion of her privacy. But the protective father in him was worried. He wanted to make sure she was okay. After a moment of internal struggle, David made a decision. He would read just a little, enough to understand if there was something troubling her. He opened the diary to a random page and began to read. The entries were filled with the thoughts and feelings of a young girl navigating the complexities of adolescence. Emily wrote about her friends, her crushes, her dreams, and her fears. As David read, he felt a pang of guilt for invading her private thoughts. But he couldn't stop himself. He wanted to understand her better, to know if she needed his help. One entry in particular caught his attention. Emily had written about a recent incident at school where she had felt isolated and misunderstood by her friends. She had poured out her heart, expressing her sadness and frustration. David's heart ached as he read her words. He realized that Emily had been struggling more than she let on. Feeling a mix of emotions, David closed the diary and carefully placed it back where he had found it. He knew he had crossed a line, but he also felt a renewed determination to be there for Emily, to support her in any way he could. That evening, when Emily returned home, David sat her down for a talk. He didn't mention the diary, but he gently probed about her feelings and experiences at school. "How are things going with your friends, Em? Is everything okay?" Emily looked at him, surprised by the question. She hesitated for a moment before opening up. "Actually, Dad, things have been a bit tough lately. I've been feeling kind of left out." David listened intently as Emily shared her feelings. He offered words of comfort and advice, reassuring her that she wasn't alone and that she could always count on him for support. Emily felt a sense of relief as she talked, grateful for her dad's understanding and empathy. Over the next few weeks, David made a conscious effort to spend more time with Emily, to check in on her and make sure she felt supported. They went on long walks, had heart-to-heart conversations, and even started a new hobby together: gardening. Emily appreciated the extra attention and felt closer to her dad than ever before. One evening, as they were planting flowers in the backyard, Emily looked up at her dad and smiled. "Thanks for being there for me, Dad. It means a lot." David smiled back, his heart swelling with pride and love. "Always, Em. You're my daughter, and I'll always be here for you." The summer passed, and Emily continued to navigate the ups and downs of high school life. She grew more confident in herself and her friendships, and her relationship with her dad grew stronger every day. The incident with the diary became a distant memory, replaced by new experiences and shared moments of joy. One day, as Emily was cleaning her room, she found her diary under the mattress. She sat down on her bed and flipped through the pages, reminiscing about the thoughts and feelings she had poured into it over the years. As she read, she realized how much she had grown and changed. She paused on the entry about the incident at school, the one her dad had read. A wave of gratitude washed over her as she remembered how he had been there for her during that difficult time. She realized that her dad's support had been a turning point, helping her navigate the challenges she faced. Feeling a sense of closure, Emily decided to write a new entry in her diary. She wrote about her dad, about how much his love and support meant to her. She expressed her gratitude for his constant presence in her life and how he had helped her become the person she was today. As she finished writing, she felt a sense of peace and contentment. She knew that no matter what challenges lay ahead, she had the love and support of her family to help her through. That evening, as the family gathered for dinner, Emily looked around the table at her mom, her dad, and her younger brother, Sam. She felt a deep sense of gratitude for the family that had always been there for her, through thick and thin. After dinner, Emily approached her dad with a smile. "Dad, can we talk for a minute?" David looked at her, a hint of concern in his eyes. "Of course, Em. What's on your mind?" Emily led him to the living room and handed him her diary. "I want you to read this," she said softly. David took the diary, surprised by the gesture. He opened it to the page she had marked and began to read. As he read her heartfelt words of gratitude and love, he felt a lump form in his throat. When he finished, he looked up at Emily, his eyes filled with emotion. "Emily, this means so much to me," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "I'm so proud of you, and I love you more than words can express." Emily hugged her dad tightly, feeling a sense of connection and understanding that went beyond words. "I love you too, Dad. Thank you for always being there for me." As they hugged, Emily felt a deep sense of peace. She knew that her dad's love and support were the foundation of her strength, and she was grateful for every moment they had shared. The years went by, and Emily continued to grow and flourish. She graduated from high school, went to college, and pursued her dreams. Through it all, her dad remained a constant source of support and encouragement. The diary, once a private space for her thoughts and feelings, became a treasured keepsake, a reminder of the journey she had taken and the love that had guided her along the way. One sunny afternoon, many years later, Emily, now an accomplished artist and writer, returned to the family home. She found her dad sitting on the porch, a contented smile on his face as he watched the world go by. "Dad," she said, sitting down beside him, "I have something for you." David looked at her curiously as she handed him a new leather-bound journal. "What's this?" he asked, a smile playing on his lips. "It's a new journal," Emily explained. "I thought we could start a new tradition. We can write letters to each other, share our thoughts and experiences, and keep it as a family treasure." David's eyes lit up with joy. "I love that idea, Em. Let's do it." And so, they began a new chapter in their journey, one filled with love, understanding, and the shared bond of a father and daughter who had always been there for each other. As the years went by, the journal became a cherished family heirloom, a testament to the enduring love and connection that had shaped their lives. And through it all, Emily knew that her dad's unwavering support and love would always be the foundation of her strength and happiness. The story of the diary, once a source of anxiety and secrecy, had transformed into a beautiful tale of love, trust, and the unbreakable bond between a father and his daughter. And in the end, it was this bond that made all the difference, guiding them through the challenges of life and filling their hearts with joy and gratitude.